Hi guys, this is Emnel and we are back in Hearts of Iron 4 playing as Germany. Before we continue, I forgot to mention two important things concerning construction. First of all, I've seen in almost every Let's Play I've watched on YouTube that people tend to cancel navy that is being produced. Here you can see that this is almost done. That's like 95% done. Don't cancel it. Just finish it. Make it so that it's only one of those is being built, and just finish it. Second is that if you do not have resources you need, things will still be produced, but slower, based on the percentage of resources that are missing. Here, as you can see, due to lack of resources, our speed of production is lowered by 45%, which is alright since those aren't crucial for us. And the reason why they aren't is because we start with the navy that is just laughable. It can last against Royal Navy for about a week if we play our cards right. So with 2 battleships, 2 heavy cruisers, a bunch of escorts, we won't be able to match the UK or anyone really, not even France, on the sea. So we are not going to worry about improving our naval capacities just yet. We'll try to keep our navies out of harm's way, though when war comes, we'll see how it goes. Let's review the rest of our forces now. We start with a reasonably sized army. Oddly enough, it's much smaller than the French one, for example. French start with, I think, close to 60 divisions of infantry. Some of those are colonial troops, but they are mostly fairly powerful ones. So we will want to redeploy around here on an off chance that they will refuse our militarization, because it's why we may be spanked hard if that happens. Hopefully not, because that would be nail in the coffin of the historical part of this playthrough. Anyway, we are not going. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the navy, but I will rebase it there, so I won't just keep selecting it. Okay, go ahead and go there. Good. Yeah, let's talk a second about Air Force. First of all, we need to cancel all of that. It's here. Delete that. They will return to our reserve, and we'll remake air wings the way we like it. And the way I like it is using 100 planes each, for several reasons I will probably discuss later. Alright. But if you are in doubt what size of air wings to use, 100 is a good rule of thumb. Alright, army, the most important part. Can we already see how many do we have? Yes, we can. Okay, so let's review what do we have. We have some bunch of naval bombers, some interwar fighters, quite a lot. Okay, some bombers. So those are older designs than the one we have. Some up-to-date tactical bombers, and some closer support. We do not have any new fighters, which is a shame. But what can we do? And we are not building any, but fighters will be a very important part of our plan, so we'll move to building those fairly quickly. To be honest, we'll need around 1 to 2,000 to win the air war over France. Probably closer to 2,000, really. So yeah, we'll need a lot. Right, army. Let's select what we have here, and for now assign it to one guy. That's what, 30 divisions. Okay. Panzer divisions and motorized divisions will go to another. We have a lot of good generals. The Trickster is a very important one. It's a jack of all trades trait. It will always help you in all combats. It allows your general to pick tactics card in combat, cards in combat better. Basically, I will explain it a little bit later once we get into some proper fighting. But it's a rule of thumb is that you kind of want that, especially if those are your most crucial divisions. We have a lot of very good leaders. For Panzers though, we will go with Manstein, which is a bit better. Well, it's about as good as Rommel, but has a Fort Buster. Sometimes you don't want a Fort Buster because you only they only can have five traits. Just pick that. So perhaps you want your guy to get more of those. We are starting with a single Alpine division, Gebirgsjäger, Brigade. I'm not sure how it's in German. Gebirgsjäger, it's more or less good pronunciation, I figure. And the rest are just basic standard infantry divisions, which is good because many nations start with some atrocious garrison ones and whatnot. We, however, do have some cavalry. Oh, right, elephant in the room though. I almost forgot. Those things probably aren't looking the same way in your game, because I'm using NATO counters. It is an option when you go here, go to options, game, I believe. Yes, use NATO symbols. I like them better. And if you see them for the first time, it's pretty easy. Cross is the infantry division. Cross with a, well, mountain is a mountain division. Where is it? Here. Those things that look like tank trucks are tanks. Heavy tanks will, those are light tanks actually. The heavier will have additional bars here, but it's very simple. Infantry with two wheels here is motorized infantry, so that's about it. And cavalry is this thing. Congratulations, you are now fully capable of using those. I'm also using I'm using a mod that allows me to that replaces those symbols that you have here for your divisions with more NATO counters. There will be a description, a link to that in the description. I'm using a few more mods, but let's get to. I will discuss them later. Those are just cosmetical mods, such as, for example, here there is a space between the edge of the screen and those buttons. So if I feel like not using a shortcut and just clicking, I won't move the screen every single damn time. And some map differences you might have probably noticed, making the terrain more visible. Alright, let's take this guy. This is just infantry. Okay, you will be in the different one for now, and our infantry will be using offensive doctrine and offensive doctrine. We'll have them under field marshal. There are two kinds of generals, well, leaders, land leaders, which is field marshals that can have an unlimited amount of people under their command, and generals. They do have different traits, and for now it doesn't really matter which one we choose, but we will want to use field marshals for our huge line troops, well, for the reasons we will once again discuss later. Let's redeploy them there. I usually prefer this color for basic infantry, and let's say I want black for. Oh, sorry about that. I think I will. People are not liking the day-night cycle, so I will just keep it off. Hopefully you guys don't mind. Okay. Right. What I want is this symbol for my armor. Here we go. And those can just sit there for no reason. Alright. Hopefully we won't end up in a war, but let's just position ourselves. Get some planning bonuses since there's nothing else to do. Let's speed it up to 3, I think. They will be units will gain planning bonuses whenever they are sitting still while on the front line when there is an attack plan drone that they are assigned to. That's about it. And if they are not doing that, either by fighting, moving, redeploying, or after the plan and whole front line was removed by you, then in those situations they will lose the planning bonus that we see here. Those are getting planning bonus, and ones that are still in transit were not getting it. Alright, okay, I think we can go with speed 4 for now. Slowly but surely, well, mostly slowly recruiting our infantry divisions. We don't care about planes for now. Resources, it's up. Are we missing tungsten? Oh, okay. So my bad here. I forgot that we. This is less than ideal. Oh, well. We'll need to buy some tungsten then, because it will mess up my whole synced up plan. All right, not a huge deal, but Portugal is a good source of tungsten. For the most of the game, they are neutral, so selling that to everyone. But another option is, as I mentioned earlier, Sweden. We could, you know what? Let's go with Sweden, since when we are buying it, they are getting our civilian factory, and we'll probably want to invade them. So if they use that civilian factory to, for example, build some military factories, it will mean that we'll get those. So Sweden it is. Here we go. But for the same reason, you probably don't want to buy too much stuff from like Soviets, unless you are sure you can handle them. So, probably don't. And we don't really care for lack of oil, since it only affects our navy that we are indifferent about. We have huge infantry equipment shortage, so those divisions that we are fielding will have enough equipment in around 140 days, I guess, accounting for the increase here. We'll just do that for now. We'll switch that around later if need be. Not sure if we are good on that. Well, let's see. What equipment? Yeah, we are ahead of the curve actually. Yeah, it's okay. But you could probably cut it to 4 each and you would be alright. Yeah, that would be optimal. Okay, waiting for our first focus to finish. It will take a while. I'm not going to speed 5 because there's no reasonable auto pausing option. In the meantime, let's cut down on speed. Let's discuss our division designs. You don't have army experience yet to improve them. but they aren't bad. What we want to aim with most of the divisions is combat width of around 20. Our tank ones are much smaller, but this is a good start, really. Well, we'll discuss what we can change here later, but they are serviceable, and with good support brigades. It's important. It's important because they cost 10 to add compared to only 5 to add an additional divisions here. Those ones are for the same reason are also pretty good. We could switch some things around here and perhaps include some self-propelled artillery or something like that, but that's a thing for later. We'll be using quite a lot of those motorized divisions. They're pretty good. Those I like the special forces a lot. They are much better than standard infantry, and in normal circumstances I would opt for building only those. Mountain troops in our case, and submarines later on. Once we research them, but since they require 40% more infantry equipment than our standard infantry divisions. And since the infantry equipment is the bottleneck here, you get the gist. Another reason why we aren't building mountaineers yet is that once we annex Austria, we are going to inherit their templates, and the Alpine division is better. All right. It's not demilitarized, it's remilitarized. Probably, hopefully, we are not going to get attacked over it. I don't think we did. And anyway, we will modify the government, and let's take a look here. We are using 15 of those civilian factories for consumer goods. We are going to switch our economic law to war economy. We can, since we are fascist or communist, fascist in our case. It's not possible unless you are in war, at war when you are a democratic nation. Here we go. What that meant is four less are used here. We basically just got four civilian factories. National focus, we can't Anschluss for the reason I mentioned several times. We don't have enough of an army, so we are left with those two lines. And all right, to get to extra resource slot, we actually need to get this. I forgot when I was mentioning that. Well, what we want is to get to to the bonus civilian factories. We'll be working on that for the foreseeable future. Well, 4 focuses. Another reason why it's reasonably good to pick Rhineland, to remilitarize the Rhineland first, is that it allows us to get free ports, free land forts, the so-called Siegfried Line, in the demilitarized zone. So both here and here, and if the Rhineland was not remilitarized, we would only get the free forts here, and we simply have to go through this west wall to get to the good stuff. So it's not a major concern, but some additional leverage. You can pretty much go either way, but I think that going for remilitarizing the Rhineland early on has more advantages. Also because it will allow that war tension to slowly fade away. War tension is important for several reasons. One is that once war tension reaches 25%, it will no longer decay under that threshold, and democratic nations, so mostly UK and France, will be able to guarantee, right? The word I was looking for. Guarantee other nations that we justify war wars against, stopping us from attacking them without starting a second world war. And yeah, so we want to we basically our ability to more or less to annex nations in small wars ends once the tension reaches 25. But what that means is that if we are able to declare war when tension is at 24, we are good. Those are just holding plans. There'll be much more complex plans when we will start thinking about war. Okay, so there should be a Spanish Civil War soon. Well, as far as possible invasions goes, I mentioned I mentioned Sweden, which will be fairly easy, albeit we will have to perform a naval invasion or two. And Romania, but to do that we'll need to annex Czechoslovakia first, using the focus tree to even get to that, which is doable. I haven't done that, but I think it's a solid plan. We'll see. That oil here is the important bit. We can buy it, but why should we buy it if we can get it? Problem is that here is that Soviet Union may go for Bessarabia. They have a focus that allows them to gain claims on that, and I've seen AI being very aggressive pursuing that to the point when they were going to war with allies over it, which is fairly stupid. How that worked is, for example, Germany attacks invades Romania in 1940, and Soviet Union just invades Romania. In turn, joins allies. Then Soviet Union declares on Romania to grab Bessarabia, ending up in the war against allies, which is borderline moronic. Hopefully, it will be fixed. We are slowly but surely approaching this. Well, what we want next are there are pretty much 4 options we can go for here. One of which is Silent Warhorse, Martin Bormann, for that 0.3 political power a day. Picking him here early on is not a bad choice. But there are things that will allow us to kickstart our industry much faster, like Hima Schacht. Honestly, I have no idea how that name is spelled. I'm usually pretty good-ish with German pronunciations, but here I'm hopeless. I will check that later. Walter Funk. Walter Funk is for later, since we are not building entire factories yet. Plus 10% for civilian factories is well, it's easy to count. We are using 21 factories, so that he's worth 2.1 factory at this point. It will increase later. This one. Yeah, you know why, right? We are using 21, so increasing power of each of them by 10%, it is basically worth 0.1 civilian factory. So he's a good choice. Another decent choice is going for Krupp Industrial Concern. Industrial research is a very important one, especially when playing on veteran, and taking that fairly early on will allow us to research very important techs here, such as concentrated industry 1 and 2, that will boost our whole production by 40%, and cutting 10% of each of those and well, picking that thing so early on will increase our production. Well, will pay off basically. And the earlier we take it, the bigger impact it will have on us. So that's another thing we may want to go for. Okay. First research is finished. Well, this is the no-brainer here. This is not ahead of time. It's still 36. Radar is also something we'll need, but that's basically combat bonus, and as we discussed earlier, those are of less importance since it comes into effect the moment we start. And this is a fairly quick research, so we can do it like on the eve of war. We're going with mechanical computing. Operational task. Here things get a bit more tricky. When we finish that, this unlocks the access to both those that are mutually exclusive and another level of improved machine tools. What we'll want to do is start those. Those are ahead of time, as you can see. They are 1937 techs, but we will want to start them as close to the January of that year as possible. So we'll have to pick proper research when this finishes to account for that. The one that finishes when we want another tech to start. Okay, but well, this will just be replaced by this. So, and this will go into this. So that's less of an issue. Here, one of those techs, in this case, that will be our doctrine, will be this slot. Will be used to do that, since it will end around the end of the year, I believe. Alright. Okay, let's go speed 4, nothing else to do here. Early game is basically an Excel spreadsheet, really. Now, those are basic infantry divisions, so we just want to add them to our basic infantry group. In this case, to this guy. So I just clicked on that empty circle and clicked on his face right here. You can also assign them to a specific order outright. So I've just clicked here, and there is a. Okay, so I can reset that, but just I can either assign them to a specific, just a specific army or army group in this case, or to the order. Same difference in this case. Right, we can modify the government. We lost 3 days, but that's okay. I think we'll go for this time. I will go for troop early on. Next one will be the civilian factory guy. Because benefits, this will benefit our military production too, and what we need now is being able to field more and more infantry first, and that's the main reason. Normally I would still go for captain of industry here. Alright, group we go. This affects it all outright. So the our researches here will be have already been sped up by all of that. Those two, I mean, that are in the industry tree. We can see it here, but if you take a look right here, we get minus 10%. The active one isn't showing it for some reason. As you can see, the ones that finished assigned themselves to that, redeployed, and are sitting on this border. There was 24, it's 31. and since we haven't set any caps, they will keep producing themselves, training themselves. We could just deploy them outright as soon as they reach 20%. The reason we aren't is they will have a poor training level. Basic training levels are green, that lowers their ability to combat by I think 25% or even 50. Trained, which gets you no bonuses, and regular, that gives you 25% modifier. Once unit that is being trained here will get will get the level trained, as you can see here, giving combat modifier of 0% once this bar reaches the end. So training them later, you can exercise them, but that's expensive. It uses your equipment, and we have shortages of equipment, as you can see. It's usually best to at least your combat divisions, for your at least combat divisions, to be allowed to get trained fully, unless you are in a real bind or something. Alright, let's pick a next focus. We still obviously can't just Anschluss. We are going for those. Alright. Still building those. Well, what you can see here, those are the new ones. +0 modifier. +0. Compared to the ones we started with, since we start with quite a lot of regular troops. I think all of those that we start are regular, which is actually pretty high. Most of the other nations are in the worst situation. Alright, but I think our time is up here, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and see you next time.